Hello everybody, welcome back to episode 9 of the Weeb Couch Podcast. Hope you've had a great week. Coming with you on Sunday today is me, as always, Mason, and with me as always...
Dan. Nothing funny to say, just start of the new year, I guess.
Yep. We came into 21 hoping that it was going to be better than 2020, but... so far, things have just been the same, if not a little bit worse. So, at least we got Beastars Season 2 started, but, you know, that's the only good thing.
Wait, it started? I completely forgot!
Yeah, it started this week.
Oh, I need to watch that.
Yep, it's great. It's just as good, bro.
Have you watched it?
I've seen episode 1. Episode 1 is out right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
And when the series is finished, you can bet we'll be talking about it. Okay, we've got a good show for you today. Obviously, we got the anime, manga, comics, games, film, and the latest pop culture news. As always, you know how it goes. So I think, Dan, you can just jump right in with your anime, and we'll get it going.
So this, I guess you can call it an anime, but technically it's not. It's an anime. And it's something I've been wanting to watch for a very long time because of how much praise it's been given. And I watched Netflix's Castlevania. Oh my god. I've never fallen in love with a show that quickly. It was phenomenal. And I haven't even watched all of the seasons. I have only watched seasons 1 and 2. And I'm so excited to see what season 3 holds, because pretty much Castlevania, it just goes with the game's lore in that Dracula gets a wife, the doctor, she's punished because religion doesn't like science because they say it's demon magic. And so, you know, they don't want to be like they don't want to be powered by something that can't be explained properly through God. Anything that you know, like the
quite ironic.
Exactly. You know, the very stereotypical Christian sort of agenda. You know that, like the toxic version. And so, you know what they do, because they think she's a witch. They burn her at the stake.
Pretty standard, you know.
Yeah, you know, the usual witch trial shit.
Yep.
In which Dracula finds out, and he pretty much comes through the flames of the flames that his wife burned through, and like speaks to them like through his like face in the flames, saying that he's lost all hope in humanity now because she pretty much like changed somewhat his view of humans, but now that since one of humans have killed one of their own based on false allegations, he's had enough with humanity, and says, you have 1 year to give messages to your gods, and after that year I will rain hellfire upon you, and then fucking dips.
Yes, Dracula is just so...
and it's that voice actor, man. Oh,
I know.
And so they all like, a year passes, and on the day that it should have been the reckoning, the Pope comes out, or someone similar to the Bishop is like, we're still standing here even though Dracula said this and this. Who we were to believe him. And as he says that, clouds form over.
Oh my god.
And it rains blood.
Yep.
And that is when the beasts of the hell just brutally murder everyone in that fucking town. Everyone.
What a start to a show.
That is the first episode. Yep. Oh my god. And so pretty much the rest of the thing is you following Trevor Belmont, the last Belmont in the bloodline. He's as the show says many times, a child trapped in a man's body. He's a drunk, he doesn't care about anything, he's not like his ancestors one bit.
Yeah.
However, through the characters he meets, I'm not going to spoil any characters he meets because, oh boy, you'll if you know anything about Castlevania, you'll know who he probably meets.
Oh yeah.
And but through that he becomes one with his ancestors, and just it's so good. The action, I've never I put the action on the same levels of Monogatari with its art, with its artistic prowess. It looks phenomenal.
So well
And
choreographed,
the action scenes had me on the edge of my seat going like, oh my god, oh! It was like, it made me feel, and now because of that, two things. One, it's got me playing the games, and two, it's got like a whip as one of my favorite weapons now because I didn't realize how much utility it has.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh my god, it's so cool, and the world is so cool, and the best part yet,
Yep.
we have in this anime a villain you can care about, a villain you actually feel sorry for.
Yep.
Because he has a character. One of the best villains I have ever watched in a while. He is so fucking cool. And it genuinely gets so sad near season 2. It genuinely does it. I almost cried in one part. I'm not saying more about when and what happened, but
I think I can
you'll
guess what it
realize.
was, yeah.
You'll realize it's so fucking sad. It's such a bittersweet ending. Like, for season 2, it's such a bittersweet ending, isn't it? But like the final shot of season 2, it is like depressing as fuck.
Definitely. Yeah.
But it's really cute because of the thing that just happened.
Mhm.
But it's so fucking cool. I like genuinely, and the voice acting for every character I think is really good.
Definitely.
Like Trevor,
yeah.
oh
Yes, yeah.
So
The voice
cool.
acting is like off the charts, especially for a Netflix
Mm.
anime. Like,
yes, and which was made in English to begin with.
yeah, exactly.
It's-
It's made.
it's-
yeah,
it's-
the dub came first, but the Japanese is still absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, because like what I did was I like watched like the first episode, like first 5 minutes of it, and watched it in Japanese and watched it in English to compare and see which one I wanted to watch it in. I heard Japanese Dracula. He was like pretty cool.
Yeah.
But then I heard English Dracula, and I was like, oh, okay, I gotta stick with the English. Oh, it's so fucking cool.
Definitely.
He just has so much
Yeah,
personality.
definitely the best Netflix original anime, I would say.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I've never felt that pumped to watch a show
Yeah.
than Monogatari.
Yeah.
It is that good. And because of that, I'm giving it, I think, the same rating I gave Monogatari when I watched it. I'm pretty sure from season 1 to 2, may change with season 3, I'm giving it a 9 out of fucking 10.
Whoa.
It is phenomenal. Genuinely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I do not have any gripes with it whatsoever. I think everything is almost perfect.
Yeah.
It
I
is
totally agree.
amazing.
I totally agree.
And it's, oh my god, it's opening!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Uh-huh.
The hand drawn! Oh my god, it's just, watch the opening. It isn't like the usual anime opening with like the song, but it's visuals. It tells a story
Yeah.
through its rugged visuals. Oh my god. Give it a watch. The season 1 is only 4 episodes, which in my opinion is one of the best opening seasons to any anime
yeah,
ever.
It is just
It is
set up.
perfect.
And yeah, and it does that so well.
It's perfect setup.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only 4 episodes, and it shows you this is what you're getting in this anime.
Yeah. Yeah,
Either
it's
you
a good
like
little-
it
yeah.
or you don't.
It's a good little taster,
perfect.
really, because like you watch the first 4 episodes. It's not that much of a commitment, and if you don't like it, you don't have to watch the rest.
Because they're only like 25 minutes, so they're
Exactly.
just a normal episode lot
Yeah.
length. But yes, please give it a watch. It is amazing. It is top of my list.
Yeah.
Like it's around like top 5 of my anime I've watched. It is so good.
It is so good, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Netflix have never really. This was a fairly like old Netflix show. I think it was 2018 or something.
Yeah.
Which was about the time Netflix started making their own anime, and they haven't really replicated that success yet. I know they tried very recently with Dragon's Dogma, but
I know how you feel about Dragon's Dogma.
oh yeah. Go watch our 2020 review if you want to know how I feel about Dragon's Dogma. Yeah, Castlevania 9 out of 10. I would probably my personal rating as well would be around the 8 or 9 mark. Definitely, it is a very good show.
And for me, especially 9 out of 10, that is the best you'll get from me.
Yeah,
Honestly, 'cause like I said many times before, I don't give 10s.
Yeah.
So a 9 is top.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what have you got?
All right. Moving on from a Netflix original anime to a Crunchyroll original anime.
Oh.
Something that I did touch on briefly in our 2020 review, and I did want to go a little bit more in depth here because at the time of our 2020 review, I'd only seen 10 out of 12 episodes of the show, and now I've seen the whole thing, and I just wanted to, because those last 2 episodes do actually add a lot. This show is The God of High School. Pretty famous, like, when it came out. I think the hype's pretty much died down. It was a bit of a flash-in-the-pan shonen that came out earlier last year, around April time, I believe. I've only just started watching it, though. And, yeah, it's like I said in the 2020 review, it's just a shonen tournament arc, but spun into its own show. Pretty much the very basic plot outline is this organization has hosted a massive martial arts tournament for high school students all around Korea, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just the tournament and the different matchups. We got our main character Jin Mori. He's a bit of a Goku type, you know. He's pretty stupid. He likes to eat. He just wants to fight strong people and get stronger himself. And yeah, that's it. It's really simple, but where it shines, in my opinion, a little bit like Castlevania, is the fight scenes. In an anime that's all about martial arts and a martial arts tournament, you're gonna have to have some well choreographed fights, and
yeah,
the series wastes no time in just flinging you into it, because in the first episode there's about 5 minutes of setup, and it's basically saying this is our main character, and it starts with him going to the tournament. That's it. We get no other info about it whatsoever. The info about like why the tournament is going on and the greater purpose behind it all is explained later on in the show, but in the first episode is literally just the qualifying round, and so it starts with Jin Mori's, you know, like area, which is Seoul, which is the capital of Korea, and it's the qualifier for that round, and it's basically a 100-person battle royale. 100 go in, 20 come out. So it's just the last people standing get to go on to the nationals, and it's just it just dives straight in, and you get loads of different. Obviously, since it's a shonen, every character has to have their specific, you know, quirk, different power type thing. Jin Mori's is like a variant of Taekwondo. I know I said it was Jujutsu in the 2020 review. That was an error. It is Taekwondo. So he's flinging around his legs. He's very it's very leg focused, and the artwork, like the choreography. Oh my god, he's like swinging. It's like Vegito type thing. He's back flipping. He's doing the multiple kicks. It's so cool to watch, and my personal favorite character, the Tai Chi user, where it's all about finding weak points in the opponents. Like that is just, it's so cool to watch all these different like martial art styles come in, and obviously it is a shonen, so there is going to be like some supernatural element to it. It's not just going to be martial arts, and that comes like in episode 3, I think, in the form of Cherry Oak, which is a kind of boost, I guess you could say, like a supernatural boost that like helps martial arts become stronger. Pretty much, it's just a plot device to make the fights better. Yeah, Jin Mori gets some great like jutsus, I guess you could say, some unique moves, very cool, like electric kicks and stuff like that. It's really cool.
So Hunter.
yeah, Hunter pretty much. Yeah. Like a few of the anime I've reviewed so far on this podcast, it's a good no-brain show. You can just turn your brain off and let the fight scenes wash over you.
Yeah.
And it's not just the kids, the high school kids, which have powers. You have the adjudicators of, like, you know, the judges. They'll have stands pretty much.
Oh no.
So it is a bit of a. I did sort of start to lose interest in those particular characters because it is just a JoJo rip-off. You know, they have like a spirit that comes out, and each one has a separate power.
Yeah.
One of them has like a big jester with a massive scythe, which is mirrored by him wielding a scythe, you know, himself. Love that guy. Once again, Dan, like you like the whip fighting in Castlevania. Me as well. I didn't know you could do so much with a scythe.
Yes.
It's
oh my god.
It's such like a big weapon. Yes. Like it's so clunky, but the way that my man wields it is so satisfying.
Mm-hmm. It's why longer weapons are my favorite, because there is such grace to those kinds of weapons.
Exactly.
Like with a knife, it may look clunky, but it's thin and lightweight, so you can like flip it round with like a pole.
Yeah, exactly. Much. Yeah,
it's
and
so
cool. Some of the best fight scenes is when he's using it as like a pole vault. He's like backflipping off it and stuff like that.
And sorry to go back to Castlevania, but there's one scene where Trevor wraps the whips around his arms and then like pushes like the end of it like forwards and backwards to simulate punching.
Yeah.
Literally like boxed with the fucking end of a goddamn whip. Oh no, because this was I believe that's what it's called, a Morning Star instead.
Yes.
So which he gets later on. Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, just whips now. I just like, my god, this looks so cool because like it's a bit like whatchamacallit, Goku GT's pole. Like it can be as long as he wants.
Yeah.
It can be as long as it wants it to be, and I love that because they go ape shit when it fucking animates, like spins around him, just like doing all those really crazy moves. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, and the main love interest, not love interest. You know, one of Jin Mori's teammates. She has a sword. She uses a sword stance instead of martial arts, which is really cool. But like, obviously a sword is a weapon, so it's not allowed in the tournament. So she has to have like a wooden sword. So it's just really funny to see her like going for the neck and stuff with all these moves that she's practiced, but she obviously can't kill people. So she has like loads of different sword stances, and one of them is swordless, which is absolutely amazing. Where she slices the air, and the air pressure hits the opponent like a punch. It's so sick.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just a cool martial arts, like a fighting anime. Yeah, there are some supernatural elements to it, but you know, they don't really service the plot. Yeah, God of High School, once again, just a good no-brain show. Crunchyroll exclusive, a Crunchyroll original. Like, I didn't expect this to be good at all, and especially from like things I've seen, like trailers I've seen. It's like they definitely don't show the best parts of the show. It's so weird. Yeah. Underrated in my opinion. God of High School, I would give it a solid, I think high 7.5. Because once again, it's a great fighting anime, but there is just like, I would prefer a little bit more on
a little bit of story.
Yeah, a little bit more on the plot side. And you know, it was a big hit, and I think the manga is ongoing now. Don't quote me on that, but I would like a season 2. I think there's enough there for a season 2 because the show does kind of end on a cliffhanger. It seems like Crunchyroll were hedging their bets with this because it ends on a cliffhanger, but it ends in a way that the show could end as well. Like, they could end it or they could continue it. It's kind of like The Boys season 2. Like, it ends on a way where Crunchyroll is like, if it works, we'll continue it, and if it doesn't, then we won't. Which I think I'm fine with that. And I know a lot of people did like the show. A lot of people also didn't like the show because it was just lacking in story. But I think the martial arts makes up for it. It's just a good fighting anime. Yeah, 7.5. Hoping for a season 2. Okay. And with that, we will move on to the manga section. And I'll just throw my manga out here. A manga from, I think, 2018. That has gotten a lot of traction recently because of the comparisons to Chainsaw Man, which has just finished. Chainsaw Man, I've yet to read it. I've heard good things. I can't wait. But my manga today is Fire Punch. Oh Oh boy. You know, like when you know when you get like a dystopia in fiction, you get like, you know, a post-apocalyptic world where like you know, everything's immoral and there's no law and stuff like that. Fire Punch sort of takes that to the extreme.
Oh no.
So it sort of takes place in a world like after, like years and years after this great disaster where a woman called the Ice Queen has just frozen the earth, like just made the temperature plummet, so it's snowing all the time and it's always really cold. Kind of like now. And
so it's like reverse global warming.
Exactly. Yeah, there is a global warming subtext to it, definitely. But yeah, and the story focuses on the protagonist, which probably has one of my favourite names in all of manga, Angie. And
Angie.
He's Angie. And,
he's Angie. He's very Angie.
Yeah, and I'll just go into the first sort of bits. This is like all first 3 chapters, I would say, kind of stuff. So Angie and his little sister Luna live in this colony, and this village is full of old people, and they're the only young people there. And it's sort of like, so this is technically a shonen, although I definitely wouldn't recommend that like teenagers read it, because it was published in Shonen Jump, so you know it's technically a shonen.
Shonen Jump?
Yeah, yeah, I know. I
How?
don't know how they got away with that.
How did they get away with that?
Yeah, and in this world, obviously, the Ice Queen was something called a Blessed, and the Blessed are basically just My Hero Academia quirks. So it's like people with powers, except, you know, unlike in My Hero Academia, they're very rare. So the Ice Queen was a particularly powerful Blessed, and Angie and Luna are both blessed, and they're both blessed with regeneration. And Angie's regeneration is much more powerful than Luna's, probably because he's older, or maybe he's just more gifted. So he can like instantly regenerate stuff. He's very OP. They're both like, I think Angie is 10 and Angie is 12 and Luna is 10 at this point. And sort of they are the food source for the village, because they, obviously, since it's really cold now, there's no like animals or wildlife, so you can't hunt and get meat and stuff. So starvation is a huge problem in this world, and you can't grow crops, things like that, because it's just too cold.
Yeah.
And Angie is the main source for his village. He chops off his arms, and then they eat them, pretty much.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow! All right.
Because he like instantly regenerates. Like he still feels the pain, but he just instantly.
Oh no! I like that about when they do regeneration.
Yeah.
When they can regenerate, but you can still feel the pain of what you actually have been lost. Yeah, I like that. Instead of it being, I've lost an arm, and a big girl just grow it back.
Yeah, because that makes no sense. Because like
it doesn't make any sense because
if it would grow back, like your nerves would still grow back as well, so you would still feel the pain.
Yes, exactly. You should feel pain when it grows back.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would think so, because it's your nerves coming back, because it's not like your nerves have been destroyed, because then you won't be able to feel anything.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. So they sort of live out this peaceful life, you know, that pardon me, that's sort of the way of life in their village. And one day, this is where the manga starts. One day, these unfamiliar people pull up to the village, and their leader Doma is like, we are part of a force come to take down the Ice Queen, and we're part of like an army, and we want any blessed to come and join our army. And Doma is a blessed, and he has a particularly powerful ability to shoot fire, and his fire never goes out, unless he wants it to. No, actually, no, forget that. It just never goes out, because there is a part later on where he tries to extinguish something and it just doesn't. And and he's like, he goes to Angie and he's like, you know, we need you, because, you know, his regenerative ability is like particularly powerful. And it seems like, it's never fully explained, but it seems like there are like set categories for blessed, because there are like many different blessed that can regenerate, although Angie is seen to be like one of the most gifted in that. And and there are also people who can create fire, but Doma seems to be the most gifted in that regard. And Angi's like, no, I got to stay with my village. You know, I provide them with all their food. And so Doma's like, no, you must be lying. You must have some food. And they sort of like turn on him. Like they sort of just like sort of ransack the village for any food, because obviously food is really hard to find here. And Doma is like, if you won't join us, then we'll just burn down the village. And he burns down the village.
Oh god!
Yeah, and he burns all the people in it. They all die, obviously, including Luna. Like he burns both Angie and Luna, but because Luna's regenerative ability isn't as powerful as Angie's, she does eventually die. But it does take her a while. It's quite tough to read.
Oh god, yeah.
But Angie doesn't die. Because Angie is extremely regenerative and Doma's flames never go out, he's just permanently on fire now. And it sort of does a little bit of a time lapse where 6 years passed where he just sits there, like, because he can't move because of the pain. But then his brain, like, slowly gets used to it until the point where he can, like, function. So, and then the story pretty much starts. And the story becomes him like on a revenge journey to go and kill Doma, and he's just constantly on fire. That's Angie. He's a big buff guy because it's obviously 6 years later, so he's like 18 or 19 at this point, and yeah, he's super buff. He's super on fire, and he's super naked. Obviously because he can't have clothes. And yeah, it's just a revenge story. It's very dark. It's very dark. There are a bunch of different like groups at play, just like not including the one that Doma is a part of. And I'm 40 chapters in right now. The entire show, the entire series is 83 chapters, and I will be reading it all because it is brilliant. Yeah. The artwork is absolutely amazing. Absolutely. Super realistic, and it's really lone. It's like cold, the way that it's drawn. It fits the tone perfectly. Like, the landscapes look so sort of desolate and lonely, like these snowscapes. And, nice. Yeah, absolutely brilliantly drawn. It fits the tone wonderfully. Obviously black and white. And it's something so cool about seeing Angie, who is a guy who is on fire, but obviously you never see the fire because it's all black and white, and it's something really cool like that to me, because I know some, like most manga, have at least like a few covers which are colour, or like a few pages, a few panels that are coloured, but in Fire Punch it's all black and white all the time. Yeah, very bleak, very mature. I would not recommend this to anyone under 18. Absolutely brilliant action though. Like, you get to see, like, even Angie clashes with people who aren't blessed but are just like really strong, and it's just a really cool like thing to see, because Angie is on fire, so that obviously makes him super powerful and like super hard to fight against, but he's also really inexperienced with fighting. Yeah. And there are some great characters there. One of the main side characters is a woman who just follows Angie because she wants to make a film, and she thinks Angie would make and she thinks like the revenge story would be like a great film, so she just follows him around everywhere pretty much, which is great. Yeah, just a really solid manga. Like, I could see the comparisons to Chainsaw Man, Attack on Titan, like other dark, technically shonen, but they really shouldn't be. Yeah, very, just, if you want a good series to get stuck into, there is no anime, but an anime has been confirmed. An anime was confirmed in May of last year, but there's been literally no word on it until now. So an anime is coming, probably not for a while though. But yeah, Fire Punch, absolutely brilliant. I'm giving that an 8 out of 10. Solid 8. Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, brilliant. I'm so glad I picked it up. Yeah. Okay, Dan, on to your manga. Let's hear it.
So, I went for a bit more of a wholesome one. You know, just a little bit. And It's called Wotakoi. Love is hard for otaku. So, what? Sorry.
Let's go. The most relatable manga ever.
I know, exactly. So pretty much, main girl Narumi, she's a closet weeaboo, right? And her hobbies, you know, anime, manga, video games, and idols, but also parts of the boys' love genre, which you know.
Yeah.
And her interests actually resulted in her breaking up with a recent boyfriend, now ex, because of the clash. And so she decides to quit her job, start anew, and join a new company. And in this company, she finds an old childhood friend from middle school, I believe, called Hirataka, who is just a blunt gaming nerd.
Yeah.
And so he wears what he has on his sleeves. He has this non Sony PSP. He just takes with him around, just plays it every so often.
Nice.
And so he's like, why don't you just date someone who actually understands your hobbies? But she's really hesitant about that because otakus are perceived to be really gross.
Yeah.
And so no one will understand them unless no one understands them other than other otakus and weeaboos. So they're like, fuck it. They start dating because they're both weeaboos and nerds. And so they start dating and become friends with another couple within this workplace who've been dating for quite a while. And they've obviously, it's not a toxic relationship, but it's a very brutal one. Yeah. Where it's like they're constantly at each other's throats, but they deeply love each other in the end.
Yeah.
And it follows both a new blossoming relationship with an old one, which has kept its passion throughout the years. And I really like the contrast between them.
Yeah.
Because it's just really cute to see the interactions between the two. It's not that far off from Love is War, in that it just shows relationships that they're just normal. Really, it just feels normal.
Yeah.
It's just really cute. It's obviously it is by all means a slice of life.
Yes, in every sense of the word.
There's just no getting through that.
Yeah.
But it's something that I and probably quite a few other people as well can probably relate to.
Yeah.
So it's well received by most people. People giving it 9s, 8s, 10s. You know, it's
I know, especially the anime which came out a few years ago. Very well regarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I read the manga, which it's still just as good, and they actually get the art style correct in the anime as well. It doesn't stray far from the original.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I would just give this a solid 7.5 to 8. It is just super fun. It's chill. It's just something to read if you have some free time. Just another slice of life that I'm giving you guys to read.
Yeah.
And it's just really wholesome. Yeah. It's just cute.
Definitely.
If you feel the pain and misery from watching Fire Punch, maybe give this a read. You know,
it's a good thing to cleanse the palate from the
exactly
desolate wasteland of Fire Punch.
And then it's perpetually on fire but can never get it out.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, maybe go look at the relationships. You know how that is. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely give this a read if you just want something cute looking at relationships. Once again, just like the last manga, one of my favorite romance mangas, I believe, from 2020, which was the I can't remember what it's called, but it was the two scientists.
Oh yes.
Who wanted to figure out what love was.
Science fell in love, and I tried to prove it. I think it's called.
Yes, that. Yes, that. It's similar to this in that they're just relationships. It's really definitely give it a read if you like that sort of thing.
Extremely wholesome. I love it as well. Yeah. It is brilliant.
Yeah, I want to watch the anime because I've seen clips from the anime. It looks really fun.
I've seen the anime, but I haven't read the manga. But yeah, it is great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that takes us on to the comics then.
Yep, some Western comics, and we've decided that for this episode and probably the next few episodes in the future, we will be covering the the ongoing DC Comics event, that being Future State. So Dark Knight's Death Metal has just ended. It ended last week, and this is sort of the continuation of it. So no spoilers or anything, but right now the DC universe has been reset to 0, and Future State is just something that DC wanted to try, I guess. It's pretty much all of the most common DC characters, but placed in like a dark alternate future, sort of like Blade Runner or Cyberpunk, that sort of thing, where sort of technology has taken over. The main, at least in the 2 comics I covered, one of the main driving forces was the Magistrate, which is like this massive big army that has taken over the city, kind of like the Arkham Knight's militia in Batman Arkham Knight. And it is, and so we've both taken 2 comics so that's 4 out of the 6 comics that are available this month. Next month, obviously, there'll be a bunch more. So for my 2 comics, I have done The Next Batman and Superman of Metropolis. So don't be fooled. It is not about Batman or Superman. So I'll start with Batman. The Next Batman focuses on, obviously in the future, Bruce Wayne has stopped being Batman for like some unknown reasons. Obviously, that'll probably be revealed in later issues. And Ted Fox has become the next Batman. Now, Ted Fox is the son of Lucius Fox. Lucius Fox is probably most well known being played by Morgan Freeman in the Dark Knight movies. He's the guy who like did all Batman's tech and all the Batmobiles and stuff like that. So his son has now become Batman, and it's just like, it's pretty dark, I guess, but it's just fun to see Batman interacting in this new futuristic world where sort of he used to be the thing that Gotham was afraid of, but now it's the Magistrate, and people are sort of like clowning on Batman. They sort of don't respect him anymore because the Magistrate is like much more deadlier now. And so the Magistrate is basically just the Arkham Knight from the game. So he's Batman, but he kills people. And yeah, it's really cool. So there are 3 stories in both of my comics, at least. There are 3 short stories, and so obviously one is The Next Batman, which is the main one. It's the longest one. Then there's one about Katana, who is one of my favorite DC super anti-hero type things. She was in Suicide Squad, unfortunately. Yeah. Samurai woman with a big sword, and the sword has the soul of her dead husband in. Yeah, she's pretty cool. So this sees her teaming up with Duke. Duke was in Duke was in the Batman comics before Death Metal. He was sort of like Robin, but you know, he doesn't want to be called Robin, just stuff like that. He's not a fan favorite character. He's quite annoying. But yeah, Katana's with him now, and obviously Katana's quite old. Duke is now an adult. Yeah, and that's just a cool little relationship. Very unlikely relationship. I don't really know where they pulled that out of at DC, but it's fun. Yeah, and so these are the 2 main stories, and then like the 3rd one is sort of like more of a gag story. I don't know if they'll keep this format in every issue, but you know, they might do. I don't particularly mind it. It's not that bad, but I would prefer just like 1 comic, 1 story. Like, it's called The Next Batman. I want to read about the next Batman, and this next Batman does seem pretty interesting. Like, obviously it's not going to be anything like Bruce Wayne, but like, he's different in a different way. Like, he's good in a different way. It's more family focused, like with his relationship with his siblings, stuff like that. You know, they've got like a very complicated family situation. Don't want to get into because of spoilers, but I can see one of his siblings becoming a villain at some point. Maybe. That is just speculation. That's speculation on my part, but I can sort of see it happening. The roots have been sowed in this first issue, and it's really cool, obviously, because the villains are still around. Like, the Batman villains are still around, but in the 3rd story, it kind of sees them forming a resistance against the Magistrate, because it's like, Gotham used to be our city and stuff like that. So they're sort of helping Batman at this point, even though they don't really have anything to do with each other. These two groups, like Batman is on one side, and then this group of villains is on the other side, but they are sort of working to the same cause. Yeah, so you have the villains, but then you have like people who have been inspired by the villains in this like futuristic world. So you have like the Bane gang, where they're just like these street thugs basically who are all hopped up on Bane's venom formula. So that could be interesting in the future. It's good to explore how the villains have, you know, influenced Gotham City citizens and stuff like that. And brings the Arkham... I mentioned the Arkham Knight before from the game. Brings the Arkham Knight into the comics, like, as a canon character for the first time. That Arkham Knight is in this as part of, like, the villain team. Cool. Yeah, I like the Arkham Knight. I know a lot of people don't like the Arkham Knight in the games, like, his identity. So they have sort of retconned that. He's got a different identity now. Which I won't spoil. But, yeah. Next Batman. Give it a read right now. Because it's going to be a 4-issue mini-series. So every 2 weeks a new issue is going to come out of the next Batman. Issue 1 is out now. Right now I can't really say much because this was pretty much set up. But as of now I'll give it a solid 7. You know, my rating will probably change as the series goes on. But for a setup, for introducing the concept of the future state, it's not that bad. 7. Moving on quickly, I don't really want to talk about this too much because, you know, I don't really like Superman. But Superman of Metropolis is another future state book focusing on Jonathan Kent, who is Superman's son. I talked a little bit about him in his introduction in Son of Superman in a previous episode. But now he's an adult, he's taken on the mantle of Superman. And I do think Clark Kent is around. Like, he's not in this book, but I have seen like the release schedule for Future State, and it does look like he's going to be in his own comic. Same thing with Bruce Wayne. But Bruce Wayne was never said to be like... Bruce Wayne was always confirmed to be in this, but it was sort of hinted that Superman was not going to be in this. But he, from the release listings, it looks like he is. But, you know, Superman of Metropolis is pretty much a Superman comic, but in the future. Like, it's pretty formulaic, you know. Someone's in trouble, Superman comes in and saves them, and he gets praised by all the police and all the people. Like, yeah, it's fine. I give it a 5 out of 10. I do like Jonathan Kent more than Clark Kent as Superman. I think he fits the role quite well. He's got like a little pet Brainiac thing. It's like Brainiac's consciousness, which is in this little tiny robot, which is quite cute. I don't really like it though, it's quite annoying. But yeah, Superman of Metropolis, 5 out of 10. Obviously this is another bi-weekly series, so we'll see where that goes. But as an introduction to the future state, you know, I think it's pretty good. Read it if you want, if you like Superman. If you like Superman, it's more of the same. It's what it pretty much is. So Dan, moving on to your future state comics.
For my future state comics, I read Swamp Thing and The Flash.
Yep.
And I will say this before, I no clue with DC stories or shit like that with characters, which was probably a bad idea of picking up The Flash. I didn't know there was. I have no clue there's more than one Flash.
Yeah, the Flash is quite lore heavy on his as DC superheroes go. Yeah. Yeah.
So pretty much in the Flash one, it's set in the future, but not that quite far in the future because everyone's the same age as when they used to be, and it's pretty much them stealing this weird contraption that the calculator's using on his head. Which this like kid version of Flash, I can't remember his name.
I think it's Impulse. Yeah.
Yeah, he steals from the calculator, but then gets killed by like a sneak attack.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of gruesome.
It is, yeah, you've shown me the stills from it. It does look, yeah.
He gets impaled. Out of context, he gets impaled by a rainbow.
Yeah, pretty.
By rainbow shards.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. And one goes straight through his brain. And I'm like, oh, okay, he's dead. He can come back.
Yeah.
And then the guy who, like, shot him to try and stop him was like, oh, I'm not fast enough. yeah, Flash things. And so, like, they use it to, like, it's a means to fix one of the other Flashes that has like gone rogue in his head. I didn't really understand it.
Yeah, it's probably Wally
It's a
West.
bit.
You know, whenever they,
I think it is.
yeah, whenever they
I think
have like a
it's
bad
Wally.
Flash scenario, Wally West is usually at the center of it.
Yeah, I think he's just changing it to like go in the head of like Wally to get him back because it's just a bit. I didn't get it. It's just, if you know Flash, you'll probably understand it better than I did, and you'll probably, if you like Flash, then why are you asking me about it?
Yeah. Quick question to see how far they've taken the retcon. Does Wally West have Dr. Manhattan powers?
I don't actually know because
he did in Death
barely.
Metal, and he just became really OP, just for no
He's.
reason. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah. He's very looks evil and dead. He looks very bad. He's like lightning powers. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So they try and save him, but it doesn't work. And like the plan backfires, and then he cries. But and it's like, oh, it's setting up for like no matter what, we will get him back.
Yeah.
And then it like pans out, it's all this gear that they're gonna use, and then that's it. It's a little weak on the story.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's not good for someone who's just coming into it.
Yeah, Flash has seen a decline recently anyway. Like I don't really mess with any of the recent Flash comics, in my opinion.
Yeah. But like I enjoy like the art, the cover art though. The cover art looks sick.
Yeah.
Like genuinely.
Yeah, I've seen the cover art. It does look great.
But this isn't in it.
Yeah.
This isn't in it. This will be in like the 4th edition of it, because in the first thing they just go meet him. They like try and talk to him, and like these are like, oh no, I don't want to talk to you, and then he fucking zaps them, and then they like get out of this weird state that they're using with this like Brainiac looking ass helmet.
Yeah.
But like okay, so I'll give it like the art is amazing and the coloring is great because it's just usual comic shit.
Yeah.
And the cover art is great. However, the story I do not care for.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to feel bad for this character, but like he dies in the fucking like 3rd page. So I'm like, okay, I guess he's dead. So I give it like a 4, I guess.
Yeah,
it's not that good.
That's pretty much what I'd give most of recent Flash as well. So yeah.
Yeah. However, Future State Swamp Thing, I actually enjoyed quite well. It was really enjoyable. So it's pretty much in the far future, where like humans did bad stuff, I think, in the past with like war and shit. And so they're all most of dead. And so like the Swamp Thing took this to like nature overcoming everything, and like I think he's created like this whole like colony with people in it, because like throughout the comic he talks about reconstructing like human organs, and I think maybe he's created all these people that he's talking to, because he talks to his daughter like at the very start, because she asks him what it was what happened to all the humans, and so he explains like blah 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 blah. For everything that is born, like a million things die or something or whatever, something philosophical.
Okay.
And then but then like they get cut off by this like big flash, like bang, which was like human machines going after some of his other people.
Right.
And like the Swamp Thing's constantly in search for like finding humans, but this like blue guy is like, but why is that though? Tell him who you really are. Tell your daughter who you really are, Swamp Thing. And I'm like, but who actually is he? I don't know. So it's like, it wasn't impactful for me.
Yeah, okay.
At all. I had no idea what they were actually talking about. But it was, in the end, they do find a human and they talk, and I can't really remember. But it was enjoyable. I'm pretty sure it was enjoyable. It was some good stuff on it.
Yeah, Swamp Thing is just a vibe, you know.
It ended really weirdly, in that there's like this villain, but I don't know who he is.
Okay.
Like the truth about the Undying Man and the coming of the Obsidian Sun.
Oh, right, okay.
It's like guy in blue.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I know who you're
He's like
referring to.
He was in this purple thing,
Yeah.
and then there's like this guy who's like dead, but not dead, and he's like, now I want for you, Swamp Thing, old friend. And I don't get it. I don't know who it is.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I think I know who you're referring to, and if that is the case, it's gonna be big.
Yeah. It tried to make out like it's gonna be big, but I don't know.
No. Yeah, no one knows Swamp Thing characters apart from Swamp Thing. Don't worry about it. You're not the only one.
Okay,
just
good.
I'm just such a big nerd about it.
Yeah. But other than that, it's like unique in its art style. It isn't just comic shit. It's like heavy lines.
Yeah.
Really like creative in its doing.
Yeah, I've seen the cover, and it's like a Statue of Liberty, like completely overrun with like trees and stuff, and it looks so good. Yeah. Yeah.
It is really cool. And Swamp Thing, he looks so much older now. he looks like. Have you seen? He looks like it's just like a 60-year-old disappointed man, I guess, with his face. It's strange. It's not like you see him in Injustice.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better. It's a lot better than The Flash. I'll give it that. But the ending, I was like, I guess it should be like cool, but I don't know if I should be like, I'm scared for this character. What's he gonna do? You know? Yeah. I don't know. But I enjoyed it nonetheless, and I give this one like a good 6 or 7. But that's as good as I'm gonna give it, I guess, because
fair enough.
DC, I don't know about it. I don't know a clue.
Yeah, but Future State. By the sounds of it, Future State is gonna be like a big shake-up for DC as a whole. I think it's like late February they're returning to their real comics, so like no actual DC comics are being published now. It's all Future State stuff. So yeah, we'll probably stick with this until it's over, because there's a bunch of different characters that are being like futurified that are coming out in the coming weeks. We've reviewed the next Batman, Superman and Metropolis, Flash and Swamp Thing. But out this week as well is also Harley Quinn and Wonder Woman, which we didn't review, but they do look very cool. And I think next week is Teen Titans Future State, so that should be cool.
Cool.
So that was our Western Comics. Make sure to check out Future State. Again, plugging Dark Knight's Death Metal if you want the backstory. It's a great event. I really enjoyed it. Sad that it's over. Moving on to our games, and I think we've got 2 Cyberpunk games that aren't Cyberpunk 2077 this week.
But one, I think both in which we actually enjoyed more.
Definitely, yeah. So Dan, let's jump right in with yours.
So mine, I think I'd heard of once, but I was like, that looks cool. Okay, moving on. But after playing it, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's called Ghostrunner.
Yeah.
It's pretty much set in this really dystopian futuristic world where there were these the ghost runners that were protectors, but then they got killed because they thought, these are too powerful, we don't want them to overthrow us, Yeah. And so you're the last ghost runner pretty much, in that you in the opening scene, it's like a cutscene, and you go to kill, I think, what looks to be the main boss, and she just cuts your fucking arm off, and then you fall to the ground, off of a building, and then you start the game. And unfortunately, I missed that cutscene, so I'm like, this guy's only holding his katana with one hand. That's strange. Anyway, moving on. And then I reloaded it, and I saw the cutscene, whoa, I didn't see that. So, it's really cool. It's imagine playing Genji from Overwatch, but the Genji the game.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Big parkour.
But it's really fucking fun.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Parkour, ninja, deflecting bullets. Yeah. You die in one hit,
mm-hmm.
which is
definitely like Genji.
pretty infuriating at times.
Yeah.
But it's really cool because it relies on your your quick decision making and intuitiveness to be able to think, who should I go for first, and where should I go to give me that advantage to kill, because you have nothing really long range other than like a dash forward.
Yeah.
Like a lock on. But that's it. You don't have any projectiles like that. I don't think.
Yeah. No.
Unless you count deflecting a bullet.
Yeah.
But it's strange because you go to free this like AI that's talking to you at the start of the game, which he like explains he was a guy, but then they killed him. But before they killed him, he planted his brain into this machinery, and so now he lives as like an AI sort of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like Handsome Jack, I believe.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was living inside the main guy's brain from like Tales from Borderlands, but he lives as an AI now. And I didn't get that far into it. I got a couple hours in because it's a bit of a ragey game because it's just dying one hit, quick pace.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And I died many times because my own fault of not realizing how much range the katana actually has, because I kept getting too close in that they would shoot me, and if I just clicked the button 1 foot away from the enemy, I would have still killed them and they wouldn't have shot me before I got to them.
Yeah.
So that's like I just have like one main gripe in that like sometimes the mechanics of the game, like the dash, like seems a little bit intuitive.
Yeah.
And it like just goes against you in that like in the air it's fine, but on like because like it stops time and you can move around, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like on the ground it counts as a dash. It's super strange and has it has like many uses, and it's like strange to get used to that sort of thing because I didn't know that it could stop time until I accidentally held down the dash button, because I just thought, oh, if it's a dash on the ground, then it's going to be a dash in the air, right? No, it's not a dash in the air. If you press the button in the air and hold it, you don't dash forward, you stop time.
Yeah.
Or slow down time, and then you can move around like left and right and back and forth as quick as you would if you were in not normal speed. But then you get a little bit of a dash forward once you exit that, but not much. And so I was like, the dash doesn't really work in the air. So it's a little bit like it works, but it takes you a while to get used to the mechanics.
Yeah.
I'd say. But it's a very fun, just like sit back and just get ready to like just rage, because I've seen this some hits, like the very first hitless speed run of this game, and it's fucking cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely give it a pick up if like
that satisfaction as well where you run through a level like after dying a bunch of times, but then you just flawlessly run through a level. There's that amazing satisfaction.
Because like every slice that a weapon does, there is impact.
Yeah.
And it feels good to slice things.
Yeah.
Like, and if you like depending on where you slice, different body parts come off. It's pretty cool in that retrospect. It's like what they do with Doom shooting mechanics, where like if you shoot off like certain parts of like certain parts of like the demons, then like that part of the demon's like skin like tears away.
Yes. Yeah.
And that like just if you aim your crosshair at the guy's neck, you decapitate him. But if you like do it at his chest, you'll just slice him.
Yeah.
And
all the enemies are like real dicks as well. They make it super satisfying to kill them.
Yeah, they just like shoot you. It's like, just fucking. There's some guys with pistols. One guy has like an assault rifle, which you like have to get him to shoot all his bullets, and then it takes a while to reload it.
Yeah.
And there's the other guys, which are just Doomfist from Overwatch.
Yeah.
He just like is a big thing. I think after that enemy, I put down the game for a bit. But other than that, it is fun. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I highly recommend just picking it up if you like the enjoyment. If you enjoy the movement of Doom Eternal, mixed in with a bit of like the platforming of like a 3D version of like
Mirror's Edge.
Yes, similar to that.
Yeah.
Then give it a pick up. Its graphics look decent, pretty good.
Yeah.
Is it an indie game?
Yeah, it is an indie game. It is,
yeah, I believe so. Yeah, so give it some slack.
Good for an indie game, yeah.
Yeah, give it some slack if you think like, this model, like sometimes it doesn't like fit right with like the hand movements on like interactables. Like, bitch, it's an indie game. We'll give it some slack. It still looks great.
Yeah, it's a very mechanics-based game as well.
Yeah. I give it like a good 7.5 out of 10. It is fun. It is fun.
A whole
It's a bit
1 point higher than your score for Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah. I haven't touched that game once since I reviewed that.
Yep.
I'm just saying that now.
I think I
still
played an
waiting.
extra half an hour and that's it.
I'm still waiting for Steam to give us allow us to give us refunds.
Yeah.
No matter our playtime, because
Definitely.
it takes you 2 hours to fucking start the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's no fucking point. And the best part, you know that little like pop up that it has when you play it.
Uh-huh.
Like when you click play on Steam, and then it comes up with like the window, and then you have to click play again.
Yeah.
Steam counts you having that thing open as playing the game.
Oh my god.
So no matter what, even if you haven't touched the game for 2 hours, but have that open, then you've wasted. You can't get a refund, which I think is stupid. Which is why I have signed a petition that people are going around to ask Steam to allow everyone a refund of Cyberpunk.
Definitely.
If no matter how long they've played it.
Definitely. I've signed that as well. You need to. Everyone get on that petition. You can find it on Google pretty easily.
I want my £50 back.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not something that I can see myself properly going forward in, because it's just unless like there is no way of us getting refunds, I'll possibly try and pick it up to get my money's worth.
Yeah.
But I don't see if that isn't the case, then I don't see myself having.
I do feel like Steam will it won't happen now. Like, it won't happen for a good few months, I think, because, CD Projekt Red are still planning, like, bug fixes and patches and stuff like that. But I do think that when the buzz around the game dies down, I do think Steam will make exception.
Maybe when, like, multiplayer comes into fruition and that inevitably gets fucked up.
Just finish the game before giving us multiplayer, man. Just... Just
take the game off of us, give us all refunds, take the game off of us, and just make the game again.
Yeah. Then release it again, and if it seems better, then we'll spend the money on it again. But if it doesn't, then we won't. It's pretty simple.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Okay.
On to your game.
Moving on to my game. Another Cyberpunk
game.
Yeah, another Cyberpunk game. A game like Dan. I knew about it for a while, but I never really touched it. And but once I started playing it this week to review it, I couldn't put it down. I spent like 5-hour chunks on this game. It is super, super cool. Like,
nice.
It's called VA11HALLA, but the L's in Val are ones. Super edgy. It's a cyberpunk bartending simulator where
always a bartending simulator, more fun than a 8-year-old open world.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Yep. So VA11HALLA, you play as Jill, who is the bartender at VA11HALLA, and it's a little tiny indie game. It's really, really small, but the amount of content it packs in is surprisingly big. So you work in days, like I've done 4 days at the moment. The days are decently packed. You can do it all depends on how fast you go through the dialogues, but if you actually read it and like resonate with the characters like I did, you actually get interested in it. Like, each day is like a solid 2.5 hours of playtime. Very cool. There are 14 days as well in total. So, and I know I'm definitely going to be returning to it. I won't just be playing it to review it. And yeah, so the actual gameplay is you serve people the drinks they want, and you like mix together the different components to get drinks. I remember saying it to Dan while I was playing it with him. It reminds me of the Club Penguin pizza minigame, where you like have to get customers' orders and then you put the correct ingredients in and stuff like that. It's very cool. But the meat of the game, the real draw of the game, is the characters and the interactions that you have with the characters. You got several reoccurring characters, like Mr. Donovan, who is like this misogynistic sort of argy-bargy, irritable like newspaper owner. He's clearly a parody of J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man. Very cool, very funny guy. Obviously, it's all play for jokes, and he's like played for the fool. sort of thing, and playing, and you get your boss Dana, who like there's like mystery surrounding her and stuff. Like apparently it's either a pro wrestler or like a vigilante, depending on who you ask. Like because all the different characters have different opinions of her. So it's like what she did before she started the bar, and that'll probably get explained at some point, and I'll look forward to knowing the concrete answer to that. All the characters are hilarious. The dialogue is absolutely brilliant. It's all really well written, considering this was originally published in, I think it's Norwegian. It's a Norwegian game.
Really?
Patched into English. Like the dialogue is still super witty and sharp. Like,
oh no, that's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It's great. Yep, and you can there's like dialogue options and stuff like that. So, and then at the end of each day, you go home and there's like an interactive sort of phone thing, similar to games like Watch Dogs and GTA, where there's a bunch of different apps on it and each do different things, stuff like that. There is at the start of every day, you get to choose which songs to put on the jukebox. So you choose 12 songs out of like 80 or something in the game soundtrack each day, and those songs play in like a random order, and you can change them and stuff like that. The soundtrack is absolutely brilliant. It's like your classic. It reminds me of a little bit of Undertale. It's like your classic indie game, like 8-bit sort of retro soundtrack, but it's got sort of like a dark, obviously like cyberpunkish kind of twist, like this techno kind of twist.
Yeah.
Very cool. I have the soundtrack saved. I do really like listening to it.
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I say, it's a really small game. But you can have tons of fun with it if you find the characters engaging and like funny, which they are. They're very quirky. Yeah, VA11HALLA. It's like less than 10 quid on Steam, I believe, or it's 10 quid. Like, definitely pick it up and support the developer for future updates. I think it came out in like 2018, and the developer does have a full-time job as well. So keep supporting him. It's made by one guy, by the way, just one guy. Keep supporting him and stuff like that. It really fleshes out the world like better than Cyberpunk 2077 does. Like explains how we got to like this dystopian world, and it's all filtered through like the patrons in this one bar. It's really well done. The storytelling is absolutely brilliant, and yeah, VA11HALLA. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I would give it higher, but there is just there's just a need for a little bit more on the gameplay side of things, because mixing drinks is fun, and there's like a huge index of drinks, and there's like you can like collect them, sort of like Animal Crossing. You like cross them off on the book and stuff like that, and there is a lot of them, but just sort of need a little bit more engagement, because at the moment it sort of plays like a visual novel, which it's fine, but I want to play a game, sort of thing. But yeah, 8 out of 10. Yeah, it's fine. It's pretty good. Moving on to our film. Okay. Film that one of my favorite films of all time ever made. Definitely top 5. So you can already see the slant that my review is going to go on. Dan, you're the one who actually suggested this as the film, which is surprising. One that I've been begging you to watch for eons upon
centuries.
Yeah, centuries. Yeah. And that film, of course, is Edgar Wright's Baby Driver from 2015, I believe. And my thoughts on it, I do want to kind of hear your thoughts a little bit, Dan, because my thoughts are pretty much simplistic. This film is brilliant. Yeah. So, Dan, what did you... I don't actually know this, but what did you think of Baby Driver?
Actually, before I say it, what do you think I'm going to say?
I think that you thought it was good, but not as good as I made it out to be.
I think it met your expectations of what my expectations of what you said it was.
Oh yeah,
It is extremely good.
Oh
I
yeah.
had so much fun watching it.
It is absolutely brilliant. So, a quick plot outline focuses around a young man, like 18 to 20-year-old guy named Baby, and he is he's a getaway driver for a mob boss played by Kevin Spacey in the last good role he will probably ever play.
Ever.
Yeah.
And like, we don't mean ever as in like, oh, he may come back. No.
He's not coming back.
Ever.
Yeah. Whatever he's done aside, he still plays a good part in this, and I appreciate his acting. He's very good.
Yeah, no, he's got good acting skills.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that he's a
pedo. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is absolutely brilliant. And from there, it sort of chronicles one of Baby's heists, one of the jobs that he's in on, obviously, as the getaway driver, and sort of goes extremely wrong. And that's pretty much all of the third act is just how wrong the heist goes and how just the aftermath of it. And without getting into spoilers, that's pretty much all I can say. But yeah, oh my god, what a movie! We can't really talk about Baby Driver without talking about the music. Like, oh my god, the music in this movie. Like, I would call it a musical. I could comfortably call it a musical. And like, it's not because like characters don't burst into song or anything.
The music is just.
But like, yeah, there are entire scenes which are just completely soundtracked, like completely built around a single music, a single song. It is absolutely amazing. Like, oh my god! And of course, since Baby himself is a getaway driver, the chase scenes, like the first chase scene, like the first time I watched the movie, of many times, like that first chase scene completely hooked me. It is absolutely brilliant.
There's no speaking whatsoever. Just
Yep.
the only actual vocals we hear are from the song itself playing. Listen to.
Yep. And then they do like Baby does the great switcheroo with the two other cars. Oh my god. Absolutely brilliant. And then like, I think my personal favourite scene in the movie is another scene which is just completely soundtracked to a single song. It's like Baby, like towards the end of the movie, Baby's like escaping on foot from
yes.
And he just runs through the park, and it's like completely to this one tune. Oh my god. It's like the care and dedication of the director. It's like, this is Edgar Wright, who also directed Shaun of the Dead, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, like very, very seasoned director. He is, oh my god, yeah. And all of the actors are great. Ansel Elgort, I think that's how his name is pronounced, plays Baby, man of few words. He's like, he's always got his earphones in, he's always listening to music on his iPod. Shout out the iPod boys. And yeah, he is absolutely, he's great, but I guess you could say his role doesn't really require that much. Then you also, cool. Yeah, he is still cool. You got Jamie Foxx as Bats, who's like this absolutely insane guy, like absolutely brilliant. I think Jamie Foxx is a good actor anyway. Like he was Django in Django Unchained, absolutely great movie. And then of course we got Kevin Spacey as Doc, as the mob boss. Really wholesome at the end. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god, it was very wholesome. Yeah, there's really not much else to say about the movie, because there's nothing, like, I personally don't have a problem with the movie, apart from like, I think the third act maybe goes on for a tad too long. It's like the chase gets a little bit drawn out in the third act, which is between Baby and one of the people he worked with on this job. But yeah, the ending's wholesome. You actually feel for the characters. There's this love story side plot going on among all this. It's just a great film, just a good ride. You know,
it is
one of my favorite films. Absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, and I'm hyped to see what Edgar Wright has in store for us this year, because we talked about it in our 2021 preview episode. Last Night in Soho is coming out this year, also directed by Edgar Wright and actually starring Matt Smith.
yes.
So we'll see where that goes. Obviously, Matt Smith, absolutely brilliant actor. This looks his next film looks to be a little bit more of a horror, so it'll be interesting to see how he handles horror, because he's not really. I mean, you could call Shaun of the Dead a horror, but it's really not.
Yeah, it is.
It's got horror elements, I guess, but yeah.
It's a horror comedy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Baby Driver, I think, is my favourite film of his. And Shaun of the Dead, still absolutely brilliant. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, still absolutely brilliant. But I do think Baby Driver is probably my favourite. Oh, we haven't talked about the arms deal amazing scene where the guy like describes it as if they're like in a butcher shop, and he like describes all the guns as different cuts of meat. It's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, just great. Like, it is mainly like action based, the movie, so we can't really comment much on the dialogue, but when it's there, like, some of the sequences are, especially with Jamie Foxx as Bats, very intense. Like they're like, I was on the edge of my seat. I think there's one particular scene in the diner, like, was very, very tense. Like,
oh yeah, I know what's
about. Exactly, yeah. Oh my god, absolutely. I love that movie. I'm gonna give, on my final verdict, I am gonna give Baby Driver a 9 out of 10.
I'd probably give it like an 8. Definitely really good.
Absolutely great. It's on Netflix, and if you just want a good time, just watch it.
It's on Netflix, so I fucking watched it on a legal site.
I'm pretty sure.
Probably would have been easier.
Yeah.
I checked it.
Yeah, it is. Oh my god. I could go on about this movie for ages, but I do want to cut it. I do want to just stop myself there, because I could go through the whole movie. I could just go through the whole movie. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Baby Driver, give it a watch. And yeah, I think that does it for our film section. So we can move on to our news segment. And I did want to leave a little bit like more extra time for this news segment, because there is quite a bit this week. We'll start right off. We'll just jump right into some gaming news. As of Monday, we're recording this on Sunday, but as of last Monday, the 4th of January, RuneScape turned 20 years old. So,
fucking
big up to RuneScape, released 4th of January 2001. Still going to this day.
Oh yeah, especially with that old what's it called? It's like you can either play like the newer updated version, or like the OG version of RuneScape. Can't remember what it's like called. I think it's old something RuneScape. Can't remember exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, but I remember playing RuneScape a lot back when I was little. It's like World of Warcraft, but better. Yeah, RuneScape. I'm sure a lot of people will agree. RuneScape is a very nostalgic childhood game for me, at least. I'm sure a lot of people would agree. Very, yeah, and long may it continue as well. There's no signs of it slowing down anytime soon. I think it just got added to Steam as well, so that's got a whole new player base. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Moving on to some more gaming news, some very just out there news. Epic Games has invested in a new headquarters, and the headquarters that they have bought is an abandoned shopping mall in America.
What?
And they are converting it into a new base of operations, a new HQ. They call it Tilted Towers.
No, they don't.
They do. They're calling this new headquarters for the company Tilted Towers, and it is an old shopping mall being developed into Epic's new base of operations, I guess.
Oh my god, that's
It
amazing.
is. Yeah, I don't know if it's self-aware or not, but like, it's just, why would you do that?
I don't know.
Oh my god. Yeah, Epic Games. Not really a company known for memeing around. Like, CD Projekt Red is probably known as the memeiest company out there. Xbox is also there. But Epic Games buying out a shopping mall and calling it Tilted Towers is just weird as hell. Moving on to some Nier Automata news.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think you know what this is already, Dan. This broke.
No, I don't. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Oh
I showed
yes.
it to you. I showed it to you. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
absolutely
So cool.
brilliant. Yeah. A Nier Automata player, has found the final secret for Nier Automata, the game's last secrets. So a bunch of different secret endings and cheat codes and stuff have been found in the game that have been put there by the developers, and the last one has finally been found. It's a cheat that after you do the first boss, you do like some insane movement combination, and you go straight to the end of the game.
You literally skip like 60 hours of gameplay.
According to the developers, that was meant to be in there. It's not a glitch, and it makes sense because there is like unique dialogue and stuff that is said to you when you do it. So it's like
it's just amazing.
Yeah,
I love that, which is why I love the developer. I can't remember his name, but which is why I'm so hyped for Nier Replicant.
Nier Replicant looks absolutely brilliant, and me too. I cannot wait. Yeah.
Hope we get more things like that.
It's just great when a developer just puts in like little things that just no one would ever find unless by chance. This guy found it by looking in the source code, but like the average player would just not find it unless like like the most off chance. Yeah.
Exactly, not at all.
Moving on to God of War. So 2018's God of War 4 is getting a prequel comic in March. Pretty hyped for that.
Cool.
So yeah, I haven't played God of War 4, but from what I've seen, like it looks good from what I've seen, and the story could be definitely expanded upon with this prequel. Like, I'm hyped for this. It is going to be by Dark Horse, so it's an independent comic. Can't wait for that. Dark Horse have been good with comic adaptations. Like, they're most well known for their Alien comics, which in some respects are better than the movies. Like, they expand that universe very, very well, and I'm hyped to see them do that for the God of War universe. Because, yeah, God of War is just... it has so much that you could do with it. Yeah. Moving on to the sequel to God of War 2018, God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, yes.
Some news.
Ooh.
Could be good, could be bad, depending on what console you play on. But God of War Ragnarok will be launching on both PS4 and PS5. It will not be a PS5 exclusive, so I know obviously PS4 players are going to be happy with that, because it remains pretty much impossible to get your hands on a PS5 right now. And and it probably
unless you're an influencer, of course.
Exactly, unless you're an influencer.
Unless you're more, you get like 14.
Oh my god, yeah. That video, don't even get me started on the Morgs video. Everyone knows at this point. But yeah,
everyone knows.
God of War Ragnarok will launch on PS4 and PS5, and this has led some people to question, like, how good is it going to be? Because obviously they're going to have to cut it some slack, they're going to have to pull some punches, so it can actually run on PS4. We saw this with Miles Morales. Insomniac Games have said about Miles Morales, like, it wasn't up to the standard that they wanted it to be, because they also had to optimize it for PS4. So, you know, it's a shame, but I'm glad to see that more people will get to play it, because God of War, like we said before, God of War 4, very, very good, and God of War Ragnarok, we know nothing about it, like, actual content-wise, but hopefully it will be an improvement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on to a little bit of Nintendo news. Nintendo has acquired, as of Tuesday, Nintendo has acquired Next Level Games. They've bought the company. Next Level Games, most well known for their Luigi's Mansion series, which come out on the Switch. So Nintendo have now just bought that company, absorbed it. So does that mean Luigi's Mansion 4? We don't know. Does it mean an entirely new game? maybe a new Nintendo property getting a third party treatment. We've seen it with Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, which was made by Koei Techno Games, I believe. So yeah, I'm glad to see Nintendo sort of bringing out some of their properties to other developers and giving them a chance to get their own take on it. Yeah, so we'll have to see what Nintendo has planned for Next Level Games, because like you can't say that Next Level Games are bad, because Luigi's Mansion 3 is a solid game. Like that is a great game, and I'm hyped. Yeah. I'm hyped to see what they do now that they have access to pretty much all of Nintendo's characters. I'm hyped to see what they have planned. Moving on to some more Nintendo news, Pokemon Go. This is another really weird out there story that I just couldn't really believe that when I saw it. Anyone familiar with memes in the past few weeks would have seen the swag memes, the drip memes. You know, you take an anime character, you put them in North Face or Gucci, instant meme. Pokemon Go, players from the UK, from London specifically, can get Gucci and North Face clothing for their characters if they play in it's like a limited time. I think the event lasts for 2 weeks. If they play in London and they actually like go up to an actual Gucci store or North Face store, they can get Gucci clothes for their character in the game.
Oh my god!
So I don't know if they're embracing the meme or if they already had this planned, but like,
I don't know.
Gucci Pokemon characters now, you know. So weird. Yeah. Yeah. Also, a little bit more Nintendo news. It has been revealed as of Thursday. Some old conversation logs have come out saying that Microsoft once tried to buy Nintendo 20 years ago. So in the early 2000s, Microsoft put in a bid to buy at Nintendo, and I quote, "They just laughed their asses off." So
yeah.
I love that. And imagine how different gaming would be if Nintendo was owned by Microsoft. That would be really weird. Seeing like Mario on an Xbox and stuff like that. That would be so weird. And I'm kind of glad, you know. I know Nintendo gets a lot of dirt these days, and rightly so. But you know, they're still Nintendo. You know, you can't mess with that.
Yeah.
Moving on to a little bit more gaming news. Some Cyberpunk 2077 news. CD Projekt Red has come out and addressed the allegations of cut content, because data miners have found like a hidden within the game's code. They found like a hidden romance option with Judy being one of the main characters of the story. Apparently you can some modders have found unused voice lines, like for a male V, that would allow you to like flirt with her and like romance her. So CD Projekt Red have been like, we didn't cut this option for the game, we just never planned to put it in anyway. And that's kind of a lie, considering the voice lines are in the game's code. They're just not used.
Yeah.
So that's just weird to me. Like, why would they cut that? Because like the whole point of an open world RPG is to do whatever you want. Judy is one of the main characters, and there are romance options in the game, so like you should be able to romance her. So it's kind of weird why they cut it, and then it's even weirder why they're denying that it was an option when it so clearly was. But you know, it's Cyberpunk. We don't really need to dwell on it anymore. Moving on to Outriders, a game that we talked about in our 2021 preview. Unfortunately, the developer has delayed the game. It was originally meant to be coming out around mid-2021, I believe, but it has been delayed indefinitely. Indefinitely, so it's debatable whether or not it's going to come out in 2021. We don't know one way or the other. I hope it still does. But they say they're delaying it because they want to fine-tune the game for a demo. So they're going to put out a demo soon, they're saying, but the game will not come out in mid-2021 as originally stated. Which is a shame, but you know, if they're improving the game, and you know, we learnt this the hard way with Cyberpunk, you know, if the game's not ready, then we don't want it. You know,
Yeah.
if they're improving it, and if they're especially if they're putting a demo out soon, then you know I'll be on that, because Outriders looks very interesting. Yep, some little bit more gaming news. Fall Guys is getting a Doom event.
Yes.
Doom Eternal, getting a Doom Eternal event. So I think there are 3 skins. There's the Slayer, obviously. There's a Mancubus, and I think there was a Keiko Demon. I'm not sure though.
It was a it wasn't. I don't think it was a Mancubus. I think it was. What are the ones called? I think it was a Cyber Demon. One was the gun arms and the horns.
Yeah, that's a Mancubus.
I must be thinking of the wrong thing. I'm thinking of No. You sure Mancubus?
With the fat guys with 2 guns, yeah.
I thought I saw something else.
No, maybe there is something else. You know, we only got a trailer so far, so we don't know what's actually going to be in the event. We did see the Slayer and the Mancubus and what I think is a Keiko Demon in the trailer.
No, it's not a Mancubus. What's it called? It's the first boss you come across in Doom 2016, and then they redesigned it.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, my mistake. It looked like a Mancubus because of the jelly bean, you know, the poop style.
Yeah. I want the Keiko Demon so much.
Yeah,
it looks so worthy. Well,
yeah. So check that out. You know, Doom Eternal, a great game as well. Fall Guys, I do like how they're embracing other video game genres.
Cyber Demon! That's what it's called. Sorry, it's called a Cyber Demon.
Nice.
I figured it out.
Yes. Yeah. We saw this a little bit with Fortnite, with the Halo event and the God of War event, but you know, Fall Guys is arguably more fun than Fortnite. But you know, it's all up to
it's all up to personal.
And a tad little bit of a teeny little bit of PlayStation news. PlayStation 4 production in Japan has been stopped now to focus except for PS4 Slim, but that is the only model. So PS4 Pro and PS4 Classic, oddly, have been stopped. So PS4 Slim is the only one being continued. This is to increase manufacturing space for PS5s. They're going to increase the amount of PS5s, obviously, because there is just no supply at the moment, which is cool. I like that. So yeah, hopefully PS5 is going to become a little bit more available now that PS4 has been sacrificed. Also, a bit more Nintendo news. Nintendo eShop, this is from Friday. The Nintendo eShop actually crashed on Switch.
What?
I think 4 or 5 hours on Friday. After the demo for Monster Hunter Rise was released, the eShop crashed. You couldn't access it.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so just proves that people want that game.
It looked like after the trailer, well, not the trailer, the direct that came out for it, the day before the demo. It looks really cool. They actually added new shit into it, with wyvern riding.
Yeah,
you didn't get.
I was gonna touch on the wyvern riding as well. Yeah,
you did get that in World.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, and they brought in the fucking bubble guy that I was wishing they brought in through Iceborne.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he's in now.
Monster Hunter Rise, I don't have the release date for the full game on hand, but the demo is out now. The eShop is back up and everything's going fine now. But yeah, that was pretty funny. A little bit of Steam news. Steam is now supporting PS5 and Xbox Series X controllers. There was a little bit of a hoo-ha when the PS5 first came out, because PS5 was getting treated as PS3 and Xbox Series X was getting treated as Xbox 360 controllers. But Steam is now supporting them. So if for some reason you have a PS5 and you still want to play on PC, then go for it, I guess. Moving on, I think that's all the game news we have to this week. So pretty pretty mixed week for games, I would say. Moving on to anime and manga news, we have a confirmed date for the end of the Attack on Titan manga. April the 9th, 2021 is going to be the final issue of Attack on Titan. The series has run for 11 years. So, you know, big props to Attack on Titan.
11 years.
Extremely well-known series, both the manga and anime, but now it's coming to a close. The final season is streaming now on Crunchyroll. Yeah, the ending looks to be very strange, but we'll see. We'll see how the mangaka decides to end it. Also in manga news, Katsuhiro Otomo, the author, his most well-known work is Akira, which a lot of people know from the movie, the anime movie. Absolutely brilliant movie. Completely revolutionized anime, not just in the West, but anime in general. Absolutely revolutionary, essential viewing if you have any interest in anime whatsoever. So the Katsuhiro Otomo Complete Works project is launching this year. So this is going to be... We don't know what this form this is going to take, whether it's going to be like a series of books or it's going to be a subscription service, because people have thrown that idea around. But it's going to be multiple volumes of manga, which are his complete works, obviously the most famous of which being Akira, with art books and comments and just sketches, stuff like that. So complete works, absolutely everything he's ever done is coming this year in a serialized format. Looks pretty cool to me. He's a great artist. Obviously Akira is very well written and stuff, but I think what stands out is the artwork, which they did carry on into the movie very well. Yeah, I'm hyped for that. A little bit of Ghibli news, Studio Ghibli. We talked a little bit a few weeks back about the Studio Ghibli's first CG movie, Earwig and the Witch. We now have a release date for that in the West. It's already out in Japan. I haven't seen any reviews or anything about it. I don't want to spoil it for myself. Opens on February the 3rd in cinemas and streaming services on February the 5th in the US. Obviously, it's streaming worldwide, but it's only coming to cinemas in the US, which is a shame. But you know, it is what it is. So yeah, February the 5th is when we're gonna be able to watch it, and I don't know, I'm as hyped as I haven't seen anything about this, but I'm as hyped as I can be for a Ghibli film, which is very hyped. Can't wait.
Have you not seen the new trailer for it?
Like, I don't want to spoil it.
Trailer. Really? You don't even want to see it? You don't even want to see trailer?
No.
It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks like it has the Ghibli in it. Is all I can say to you.
Can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait.
No, it's 3D.
Yeah. Moving on to a tad of movie news. Jared Leto, a name which brings dread to some and joy to few.
You remember him from American Psycho, of course.
Of course. The only role I've seen which he's good in, and he's very good.
Yeah.
But this is unfortunately some bad news.
No!
Jared Leto is in talks to return as the Joker in a future DC movie.
Oh
no! I think Suicide Squad, obviously a terrible movie all round. That's just, yeah, no one's going to argue with us on that. But I think Jared Leto's Joker stands out as one of the worst parts of that movie. And he had a third of his scenes cut. Like, imagine if he was in it as much as he was originally meant to be. Yeah. But apparently he's in talks to return. We don't know what movie he's going to return in, but apparently he's in talks to return. He says it's hard to say no to that character. It's not that hard, Jared.
But we can say no to you.
Yeah, yeah, we can say no to that character.
Yeah.
Also, a little bit of TV news. Jodie Whittaker, the first female Doctor Who, is quitting the show after ratings have absolutely tanked. And as an example of how much they've tanked, I didn't even know the show was still going. I thought it had stopped about a year ago.
No, I knew it was going. I just didn't bother.
Obviously,
That's all.
I know me and you are both fans of the David Tennant, Matt Smith era of Doctor Who.
David Tennant, Matt Smith, and the one before David Tennant. What's his name? I always
Christopher
forget.
Eccleston.
Yeah, him. He's good.
Doctor Who.
Enjoy him.
Doctor Who is a great show, but Jodie Whittaker, like Peter Capaldi, was. I don't know, he had good points.
That's where I got.
He had good points. Yeah, it was where I fell off as well.
In Peter Capaldi, when I dropped it was when they got rid of the sonic screwdriver. Once that was gone, I was like, okay, this isn't Doctor Who anymore.
Exactly. And
so that's when I dropped it.
Yeah,
and I'm glad I dropped
feel the same. Yeah.
I'm glad I dropped it then because, like, I get it. You want to expand and go into have a female role as a Doctor. You don't do that after you have, like, completely, like Matt Smith and David Tennant, great male actors.
Yeah.
But you just can't. They messed up with Peter Capaldi in that they didn't get someone who was the Doctor.
Yeah.
You didn't feel like it properly
a different show. Yeah.
Yeah. And with this, even more so, it just felt unknown to the audience, to me at least, which is why I didn't even bother with it.
It wasn't set up at all as well. There was no setup. It's just like he just turned into a woman. There's no explanation. It's like, oh, well, you know how the Doctor can regenerate, and it's like, oh, well, there's no reason he can't regenerate as a woman. It's like, fair enough.
No.
But there's no setup for that. There's no like build up. So the future of Doctor Who remains to be seen. I hope they don't cancel it because it's ingrained, I think, in British culture. I think if you had to name a TV show, like if any Briton had to name a TV show, like Doctor Who has been there for like 60 years now as constant. Yeah. I hope they don't cancel it, but the future remains to be seen for the show. Moving on to some more film news, the director Paul Greengrass, pretty famous director in the indie circuit, he sat down for an interview and he discussed his unmade films, and he said particularly among the films he would have liked to make that they never really got off the ground. You know, he has the scripts, but they never really, you know, took off. Is a Joker style Watchmen movie, which apparently is not loyal to the comics at all. It's his own take on the universe, and it draws similarities to the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, which came out 2019.
Oh.
Yeah, very weird. Like I would have liked to see that. I just love Watchmen. I'm a big Watchmen fan. Like I would have just liked to see a different take on Watchmen, because like the Watchmen movie that we have is great. Like it is great, but it's just a panel for panel recreation of the comic. So having a completely different view on the universe might be good, you know. He also wanted to do an X-Men and Avengers crossover movie, which yeah, go for it, man.
I guess
it could be cool. You know, X-Men are pretty bad. Avengers are pretty meh for the most part. But yeah, go for it. Yeah, so I think that's all the film news we have. Oh, nope, one more story. This broke just today, actually, earlier this morning, on Sunday. It has been revealed that a live-action Borderlands film is set to start filming. It's very soon. Filming will start soon, so the script has already been finished, the cast have been cast, and filming is going to start very soon. So we know nothing about this, like except for the film has been in development for a very long time, but we didn't know it was this close to being finished, like this close to starting filming. So I'd give it a year, maybe a year and a few months, considering, you know, COVID and the restrictions filmmakers have to be on right now. But yeah, live action Borderlands, it's going to be strange. Like, Borderlands is such a crazy game, and it's hard to... I'm thinking of sort of Mad Max. Yeah.
Its art style is very unique, and I don't see how they'll be able to do that into a live action movie.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a Mad Max type movie. Just
crazy. It'll definitely...
Yeah, crazy post-apocalyptic stuff, yeah. But we'll see what form that takes. I like Borderlands. And I can sort of see how it would work with a film, but you know, the quality will remain to be seen. You know, I think Mortal Kombat would make a good movie, but you know, we haven't really had that so far. Yet, we'll have to see.
We'll have to wait.
Yep, the remake releasing in April. We'll have to see what form that takes. But yep, Two more stories, both revolving around Twitch. And the current riots going on in Washington D.C. in the U.S. Senate building.
They're connected.
Yeah. So, Twitch is among many social media platforms. So the full list is Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So all of the main social medias, have indefinitely suspended Donald Trump's account on those sites. He's been... yeah.
You know it's serious when he's even banned from Reddit.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't even aware
And
he had a
Google.
Reddit account.
And Google.
Yeah.
And Google itself.
Yeah.
What does it even mean? He's banned from Google. You can't search it up
You
anymore.
can't search anything. He has to use Bing. Yeah. But yeah, Donald Trump has been suspended indefinitely from those platforms. There's no set time on this suspension, although Mark Zuckerberg has come out in an official statement and said he plans, at least Facebook in of itself, plans to suspend him until the peaceful transfer of power in 2 weeks when Joe Biden officially becomes the US president. But we haven't got any word on any timings. This was obviously because Donald Trump could be seen to be inciting the violence in the Capitol. He could be seen to be encouraging it. Obviously, that's up to your opinion. But yeah, Mark Zuckerberg released a really lengthy response on his personal Facebook, and he basically said, Donald Trump has been pretty close this whole time, but now we had to do it, and yeah. So Twitch is one of them. His Twitch channel was used to stream rallies and protest and stuff like that. Hey guys, welcome back to Trump Gaming. So today we're gonna be.
It's just like he stole the idea from Obama with Obama Gaming.
Oh my god, Obama Gaming, what a king! Yeah, but yep, he's suspended now. Also in Twitch news. After the violence in the Capitol, Twitch has decided to completely remove the PogChamp emote from everything, all of its chats, all of its live stream, super chats, all that. It's so weird. The emote, obviously, everyone knows the PogChamp emote features a guy making a pretty cool face, pretty epic face.
Pretty epic, lol, funny face.
Yeah. And apparently the guy whose face it was has been spreading misinformation and fake news about the COVID-19 and the vaccine and stuff like that. So Twitch has just decided to remove the emote because it promotes fake news, I guess. But yeah, this is weird because PogChamp, the phrase PogChamp and the emote itself has been ingrained in Twitch culture ever since it was first used a very long time ago. So that's strange. That's really weird.
Yeah,
but,
it's gonna feel strange.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Twitch has been on a roll recently. Banning a bunch of stuff from yeah, whatever. But I think that's pretty much it for our news segment. So that means it's pretty much it for our episode this week, episode 9 of the Weeb Couch. We hope you had a great time listening. Hope you took something away to watch, something away to play, something away to read, anything like that. Yeah, don't waste your money on Cyberpunk 2077. Both Ghostrunner and Valhalla are way cheaper on Steam and are way better. So, yeah. If you want to feel empty inside, read Fire Punch. If you want to feel warm inside, read Wotakoi. Love is hard for Otaku. But yeah, hope you had a...
And if you want action, watch Castlevania and God of High School.
Yeah, both.
Do it.
Top tier action series. Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Subscribe to both Netflix and Crunchyroll.
watch them simultaneously.
Split screen, just both of them.
And if you don't, we will find you once again. Another thing for us to find you if we don't do it.
You better, you better do it. You think we're joking, don't you? Yeah.
Why are you laughing? We're not.
And while you're on Netflix watching Castlevania, also check out Baby Driver on Netflix. Absolutely brilliant movie.
All three at once.
Yeah,
Do
all
it.
three. Get 3 monitors.
What if we were to use 100% capacity of the brain? 100%. Just watching Castlevania, Baby Driver, and God of High School all at once, and getting everything in.
Oh my god. Yep. There's been some great stuff this episode. Obviously, as always, make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a comment down below, anything you want us to cover, anything in particular. Next week is our episode 10, and we have said that every 5 episodes we will do a special episode. We have a few ideas rattling around. If you have any particular topic that you want us to cover for our special episode, please let us know in a comment, Instagram DM. Our Instagram will be in the description. Drop us an email, all that sort of stuff. As always, this cover art was drawn by Dan himself. His art Instagram is down in the description. Make sure to give him some love. And yeah, until next week, pretty much. I've been Mason, and this has been Dan, and
It has.
and this has been the Weeb Couch. So hope you have a good week, and we will see you later.
Bye.